The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. At that time, Jesus told his disciples a parable. Look at the fig tree and all the trees. As soon as they come out in leaf, you see for yourself and know that summer is already near. So also when you see these things taking place, you know that the kingdom of God is near. Truly, I say to you, this generation will not pass away till all has taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. The Gospel of the Lord. Sticks and stones may break our bones, but words will break our hearts. I think everybody has had some experience of that. Words that come out of our mouths are founded in our hearts and in our minds. And so when they come out, they have a whole history behind them. A lot of the history behind our words is a mystery for us, because we are human beings. So we function with what we know, what is in our minds at this particular moment, the experience we've had in our lives, and it all wells up. So when a particular word or the way we speak comes out of our mouths, it comes from a great history. If you've had a sad history, the words might be sad. If you've had a good history, the words will probably be better. But all the things in our lives will condition us in what we say and how we react to people around us. And they last forever. If we can just imagine, each of us here will probably remember particular words of our parents. We will probably remember words that have hurt us from other people, or maybe even our parents or friends. Maybe there are people here who've said something and those words have hurt us. So we know it is true what Jesus says in the gospel today. Heaven and earth will pass away, history will repeat itself and disappear, but the words will not pass away. So there's both difficulties and strengths and weaknesses of this, because as much as we know that words can hurt us, words can build us up. And so perhaps today we can be a little more aware of the words that we use, both in asking ourselves, what is the history of this word in my life? Is it coming from a good place, a God place, a human place? And bringing it into the Eucharist today, we can ask God to change the history, not to change the history, but to change the impact, because God's love is so much greater than any human love. And whatever hurt human words have given us, God can transform those words in time to be a lesson for us not to use the same words to harm in the future. So we are purified by the Eucharist, by God's presence. And also to ask ourselves, what are the words we use? And you know, it's not only the word, it is the tone and the body language. And you know this. I don't have to give you any examples. I can say, I love you, or I can say, I love you. Well, it's pretty obvious. How do we use words, and what words do we use? And so often in families we use similar words, and we sometimes think that those words are just, oh, well, they understand me. It's a little joke. Is it always a little joke? We must be careful. So today let us analyze the words that we use. But there are also some times when we need to be very strong with our words out of love. Yesterday I was giving a lesson to the gentlemen in the rehabs, and we were talking about Matthew 18:15, about brotherly correction, and how important it is for us to correct each other. And the way we use the words in correcting each other out of love is so important. And there is a little method, I'm not going to go into it now, that I've learned, I was given it by a psychologist, that helps me to try, when I have a difficult confrontation to make, to try and help them hear the words that will be healing. In fact, today I have got to go and visit someone, not in the parish, but he is an alcoholic, and his family have tried everything. He's been in and out of rehab, and they phoned me to say, we can't cope. So I'm going to go and be with the family and tell him that he has an hour to pack his bags and leave. And if that means he will sleep on the street, then he will have to do that. But somehow we're going to have to try, by God's grace, to let him know that we're doing this with great love, because he persists over many years, not to take responsibility for his life. And so I pray during this Mass that we will have the right words to tell him in love that we believe in him, because he is a great man with great gifts and talents, but he is destroying himself and he is destroying others. So for the sake of the family, he must leave. There are conditions. He can come back if he is sober, if he is faithful to his AA meetings, etc., etc. But the word he needs to hear is, it has got to stop now. Even if it means he goes out on the street tonight and he has a binge and he dies. Because that's the reality we face. So today, what are the words we use and how do we use them? Because the situation I have, it's not my immediate family. What is it like for you when you have something that you have to say that is equally difficult? How do you handle it? What words do you use? We all have family members who need to hear the truth. But how do we do it? That is what God is, I believe, calling us to do today. Heaven and earth will pass away, but the words will not pass away. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may break my heart. But also words can heal my heart. Amen.